Hey guys, I am Adam. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. Are you a card investor or a card collector? Well, why not be both? Or at least why not consider at times buying a card simply because you believe that it could go up in value. And you could leverage that value later on down the road to have more bucks, more arrows in your quiver to get some other card or cards that you really want. So why not consider doing that if, most collectors gain some specialized knowledge. So whether you're a player collector or whether you're an era collector or a set collector, if you really get into it over time, you probably have some knowledge that other people don't have, at least in a specific area or specific areas. So why not leverage that? If you see a really good buy, something is clearly under market or something's tougher than people realize, why not consider picking it up and, either for your collection, of course, or just as an investment so that down the road, if the market knowledge catches up to your knowledge, you can leverage that gain in value and get something else for your collection. So why not be an investor and utilize the knowledge you have obtained from your passion of collecting? At the same time, why not just be a quote unquote pure collector where you buy something, and I've certainly done this at times, you buy something knowing that it's probably not going to keep up with inflation, knowing that it's a bad investment, but you didn't buy it as an investment. You bought it because it brought you joy. And so, you got your money worth. I'm taking my slippers off. I'm getting serious now. So you got your money's worth, even if you spent $100 or whatever you spent, because you're just loving the card. You're going to keep loving the card or the cards. So, if they become worth zero, you might be a little bummed, but you might not, but you'd still be loving the cards either way. And then why not sometimes, let's not split the baby. I like babies. So why not sometimes feed two birds with one bird feeder and collect and invest at the same time? Heck, why not feed four birds with one bird feeder? If you're wondering what that means, I think you'll figure it out by the end of this video. Why not? You could even maybe say feed five birds with one bird feeder. Why not sometimes buy a card or duplicates of a card that you not only love collecting, you just think it's an awesome card. So even if it did go up and down in value, you wouldn't be really bummed out. You'd still love having your copies of that card, but that you believe in your collector's heart and mind, based on your specialized knowledge, that there's a high probability it's going to be worth more in the future than it is at the present. I have put off making this video because I wanted to gather. I'm a pumper gatherer. First I gather them, then I pump them up. I'm not a pumper dumper. I don't pump and dump. I pump and gather, or first I gather, then I pump. But, here's the deal. I guess I should be doing a little more gathering before I start pumping, but I couldn't resist. I couldn't wait any longer. So without further ado, I might do some more gathering, but I've done some gathering. Let the pumping begin. Woohoo! All right. This is the 84 star number 12, Larry Bird MVP card. Now, interestingly enough, this card is not the card that I'm really featuring on this video, but it relates to that card, so that's why I am showing this first. So 84, 85 star came in team bags, and there were some specialized bags as well, but with the team bags, Larry Bird was in the bag twice. He was on the front of the bag with card number 1, and then he was on the back of the bag. You could see the back of this card, the back of card number 12. And this was his MVP card, showing that he was MVP in the year prior. Now, this was a special time for Larry Bird because in 84-85, he also won the MVP, and he won it the year prior, 83-84, and the year after, 85-86. So this is the year right in the middle of his 3 MVPs in a row, which is just insane. This is when this was when Larry Bird was just dominating. And the Celtics won the championship not in 84-85, but they did win it the year prior, 83-84, as well as the year after, 85-86. So Bird is just on top of his game. I got this for $105 back in July of 2024. And super stoked to have it, but it's not the card featured that I was alluding to earlier, but it relates. So let's move on to the featured card for this video. Woohoo! And here it is, 84-85 star. They honored Larry Bird by making him #1 in the set. This is his base card from 84-85 star. I paid $55 for this back in June of 2022. It does not have subs. I would prefer subs, but I was, taking advantage of the fact that I could get this without spending a ton of money. So we've got just a little bit of corner wear. Centering's not bad, but not perfect. But it seems to me that the lower grade is mostly because of just a little bit of corner wear. And then also, notice right there, see that roller mark that kind of goes through his face? That roller mark goes all the way across. I'm not sure. It's possible almost every Larry Bird has that. It's extremely common. That's going to come into play. We'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, so this is #1. By the way, that color bleed you see around the edges, that is a fantastic sign of authenticity right there. Larry Joe Bird, #1 in the set. And I believe this. Not only do I love owning this card, from the height of Larry Bird's powers, and the color match is just fantastic. It's not a rare card, but it is a somewhat tough card. You just don't see a lot of them floating around out there. I think it's going to get more love than it's been getting. It may just be, as we speak, starting to get a lot more love and shoot up in value. I'm not entirely sure because you don't see a lot of sales of this card, but it would not surprise me one bit. Now, here's the deal. It's also possible it could wait 6 months, a year, a couple of years, and then start to shoot up in value. Of course, anything could happen. Could it just stay about the same price and not do much for the next several years? No, it won't. It will not. This bad boy's taking off. I can almost guarantee it. All right, April of this year, I got this copy for $150, which I was super stoked. And I was kind of surprised I was able to get it for that price because the seller wanted, I think it was $300, and he had reduced it to $250 or had it on sale for $250. I'd made him an offer of $150 and he accepted it. So I was really stoked. And notice this has the subs, minty fresh centering corners and edges, but it's got that 6 surface. And once again, can you see right about through there? Can you see that roller mark? So that's what holds this back, I believe. Without that extremely common roller mark, there we go, you can kind of see it there. Just above the glare of my upper light, in between the two light glares, right kind of through the bottom of his eye. Of course, it doesn't break the card surface, so, straight on, it doesn't impact the eye appeal at all, but it's there, that roller mark from the factory. So I believe that's what makes the surface a 6, and without that roller mark, this card would probably be a 9, I would imagine. Unless there's something else on the surface. That's just, whatever's up there is just on the plastic sleevings. So, may very well be a 9 without that. So look at this. Beautiful, beautiful card. Left to right centering is really nice, really sharp with these colored borders. It's nice not to have any jipping or edge or corner wear because, it really shows up on these colored borders. Sometimes his name will be cut into. Fortunately, this one's not. I prefer the name. Not to be cut into. So there you have it, 150 bucks. But we're not done. We're not done. And so let's continue on. Woohoo! Yeah, I had to get my woohoo. I felt like my last one was a little bit weak, you know, so I had to kind of, you know, up my woohoo game. Woohoo! Yeah! All right, this card I got in September of this year. So just, you know, a couple months ago for 310 bucks. I think the seller had wanted 350 or somewhere in there, maybe a little bit more. And so I wanted to get another copy of this card, and I did want to get a PSA because there are a lot of PSA fanboys out there. and you know, I thought that if the value rises on this card, that it could rise substantially more if it's in a PSA slab, because that's just how the market works, at least at present. We'll see how the future goes. Beautiful, beautiful card. My thinking is this is a 6, because looking at it, it's like, man, this is stunning, because of, again, the common roller mark that you see right through there, that I think pretty much most all of them have. Now, it kind of frosts me. Notice, not miscut on the top, but it's close. Tends to cut close to his name there. It kind of frosts me that this is in the baggie there, as we can see. But you know what? I decided I can live with that, and I'm just going to love the card and not let it bug me. I could let it frost me, but this is the way I like to be frosted. Woohoo! Look at that. Frosted holder. Look at this. I got this also in September of this year. This one was $299. And I think I just paid the price that I can't remember if it was a best offer and I made an offer. I think maybe I did. But anyway, got this for $299. A stunning 6. Look at that. So beautiful. Why is it a 6? Again, I believe it's that little roller mark right there. And let's take a look at the back. And so, I mean, you can see a little something on the corner down there, but really that's practically nothing. Little paper wrinkle that doesn't go through. All right, let's compare these two. PSA, here's the deal. You can be a mediocre company. I don't care. I don't care if you're, you know, how do I rate a company as mediocre or awesome? Not by its size. So I don't care if they're the big dog. By far, there's no question they dominate, you know, all the other companies at this time. Gobbled up SGC and is now perhaps dismantling SGC, or at least making it this little quote-unquote boutique company. PSA, you can be a mediocre baggy company, or you can engage in frosted excellence. It's all up to you, PSA. Do you want to be the mediocre baggy company? Because I tell you what, if another company comes along and starts putting, I mean, CSG, I think they've got some pretty nice slabs. But if another company comes along and starts putting, you know, well, let's put it this way. If I'm going to be submitting cards, which I usually don't, I guess I could possibly submit to PSA because of the value, I will admit, if it's something I was going to sell or something like that. But for the most part, I would just, if I didn't care so much about the value for the card, I would just put it in the slab that looks best. I wouldn't care. Just a reputable company, you know, where their slab looks the best. So PSA, you can be a mediocre baggy company, or you can engage in frosted excellence. It's all up to you. Check those stunners out. Let's get them all here. Let's get them all here. You know what it's time for? You know what it's time for. Oh yeah, you know what it's time for. Woohoo! Oh yeah, woohoo! All right, so there you have it. There's my little investment collection. Now let's talk Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has, you know, well, one base card in this set. You have probably heard of it. The 84 star number 101 Michael Jordan. What's that going for now? In a PSA 6, you know, in the neighborhood of 50,000. I mean, I guess I could look up some comps, but I know one went for 50K recently, so it could be a little more, could be less. Heck, let's say it's just 40,000, although I think it's more than that. 300. And $10, $299. Those are PSA 6s. Let's call those around 300. Multiply 300 by 10, you've got 3,000. Multiply 3,000 by 10, you've got 30,000. These are 1/100th or less the price of the Michael Jordan card in the same set. A rising tide floats all boats. These birds are undervalued. These birds are absolutely undervalued. In my humble opinion, if I'm wrong, then what does that mean? It means that I'm stuck with 4 absolutely stunning 84-star Larry Bird base cards with this beautiful color match from the height of his powers. And you know what? I call that a win. I call that a freaking win. Woo! And if I'm right, which I almost certainly am, these cards are going to be worth quite a bit more in the future. And then if that happens, because here's the thing, this doesn't have to become a $30,000 card. It doesn't even have to become a $3,000 card. All it has to do is, let's say, double in value, which is pretty amazing when we think about it. Double in value within the next few years. And, I've got myself a nice investment. To me, that's the beauty of collecting. It can be the best of both worlds. I don't worry about these going down in value because I love having them and enjoying them, but yet I think there's a strong probability these particular cards will increase in value over time. They're just too far off the Jordan. They're just too far off. Should Jordan be worth more? Sure, it's his rookie card. I mean, I guess you could make a case that maybe not, but because it's a rookie card, sure. I know that's controversial. It's a first-year card. Some people would say the Fleer's his rookie. But a less than 100th of the cost, yeah, too far out of balance. Too far out of balance. So it's collecting for the birds. Collecting is actually for birds. Oh yeah, and I'd like it to be 5 birds. I'd like it to be 6 birds. Let me turn this around. Oh yeah, collecting the birds. Bring them on, man. Let's feed as many birds as we can with one bird feeder. Woohoo! Figure out what that means. And when you do, let me know. Thank you for sharing in my joy. Tell me about your investing. Whether you can be an anti-investor if you're like, nope, don't talk about investing. Talking about investing sucks. People who say they invest in cards suck. Well, I hope you won't say that, but if you're anti-investing in cards, that's fine. Let me know. Yeah, that's fine. Or do you do it? Have you done some of it? Are there any cards you bought purely as an investment or as a collector investor? If you want to tell me, let me know. Thank you for sharing in my joy. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the vintage sanctuary. Woohoo! Take care, my collecting brothers and sisters.